Okay, the next section we're going to talk about is area of polygons. So section 8.3, we're talking about the area. And again, I'll list a couple of the polygons and the shapes, and then the formula that's associated with it. Now remember, the area is the space inside a shape. Right? And the units are square units. So again, let's go through our formulas. We have a rectangle. And it has a length and a width that's associated with it. And the formula is that area equals your length times your width. Okay, we have a square. Again, all four sides are of equal length. Right, in this case, our area is just side times the side, or side squared. For a right triangle, or for a triangle, the properties of this triangle are base and height. So most of the problems you'll have a perpendicular, which we call the height. And wherever that dotted line with this little square down here, this little square denotes that it's a perpendicular line. So that's a right angle or a 90-degree angle that's formed there. So this is our base B, and then we have a height. So the formula for the area of a triangle is 1/2 times your base times your height. Times your height. So whatever you do, you take your base and your height, multiply them together, and then divide it by 2. Okay. Parallelogram. So a parallelogram is kind of like a rectangle that's just sort of pushed off and slanted just a little bit. Again, they're going to drop a perpendicular, and that's your height, and the long side is your base, or one of the sides is your base, and your area is simply your base times your height. Another shape you might see is called a trapezoid, in which case you have 2 parallel sides, and then your other 2 sides are at different angles. Okay, so we all still talk about this perpendicular height, but here we have a small base and we have a large base, and we're denoting it with a little b and a big B. And it's important to make that distinction. But in this case, your area is going to be 1/2, and you're going to add your big base to your little base, and then you're going to multiply it by your height. Okay, and then the last shape is our circle. And again, with this, we need to know the rate. For this formula, we need to know the radius. So if you're given the diameter, you have to cut it in half. But for the area of a circle, it's pi times r squared, where pi can be approximated as 3.14. Okay, and note that the area is always measured in square units. In square units. So for instance, it'll be inches squared, feet squared, centimeters squared. And remember, with perimeter, we just simply measured it in terms of distance or length. So let me just do an example here. So find the area of the triangle So I might have an obtuse triangle like this. And it doesn't matter, so it's important that you identify where your base is. So let me give you that this is 12 meters, and then the height is 5 meters. Okay? So here we have, remember, and it's good, it's a good practice to write down the formula every time you use it. So that way it helps you remember. So the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times the height. And then we should identify what pieces of information we have, right? So the height in this case is 5 meters, and our base is 12 meters. So that means our area is 1/2 of 5, or 12 times 5, or 1/2 of 60, which is simply 30. And remember, to use our units, we always use the square units.